Yes. I started this stream, by the way. We're live.
Oh, well, at least people know how I sound in real life now.
Yeah. Greetings and salutations. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, not like the
Greetings and salutations.
well-vocalized person here that I'm always talking coherently and
greetings and salutations,
not
Travis.
Interrupting at all.
That's my job to interrupt you. That's my job. Greetings and salutations, everyone.
What's your job?
To interrupt you.
Oh,
yeah, like that. This is not going to be fun because you won't stop and neither will I. This is
maybe the sixth time will work.
Two Trolls in a Brew, episode 137. Keep your guard up. Subtitles
perfect.
are everywhere. Cheaters are everywhere. Not just cheaters like me who unintentionally cheat because they don't read the cards all the way, but like cheat people who are intentionally cheating. Did you see the big news this week or last week?
Like two-time GP winners that cheat?
Yeah, and like, is he a Canadian national champ, like a double national champion for Canada or something?
Yep.
Yeah. I was asked about it on stream, and I'm like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. So then they started sending me links to videos, and wow, that guy. Like, I watched it, and I'm like, did that guy just grab a land out of his yard? And they're like, did you see it? Did you catch the cheat? I'm like,
so after watching it, I'm like, wow, that's filthy.
That's ballsy.
And then seeing his
how all his responses. Yeah.
Well, no, just his email to the DCI itself.
I don't think I read that.
He basically was like, "What I did was awful," and blah blah blah, the basic
right
PR responses. But then he was like, "This needs to change, and I think starting with me, cheaters should get perma banned." And I'm like, did he do it to prove a point?
No, I don't think so. I think it was too practiced, and he had too many other responses first. Like, he said too much other junk before that to try to what feels like weasel out of it to me. I don't think so. I think he's just like...
No. I'm not saying like he's trying to weasel out of it. I'm just saying like, did he purposely cheat on camera to try and get the message across of cheaters should be permanently banned?
I don't think so. I think what's going on is because the stuff that he was saying before there sounded like to me like he was trying to get out of it. And then his last possible attempt to get out of it is to be like, well, just permaban me forever. Just like, here's the most crazy thing you should do. And then if you do permaban me, then I will go out there and say that cheaters will be permabanned, and I fall on the sword for it. So he like cleans his reputation. I feel like, just from what you've told me, I feel like that's probably like a play to try to be less punished or get out of it more. Because they're going to go, well, I don't think we should permaban you, but instead we'll give you a 1 year suspension, or... You know what I mean? Like, he's admitting that he's deserved something. But before that, he was, I was trying to fix a play mistake that happened earlier in the game. Or it didn't matter if I cheated anyway because I had extra lands in my deck to go fine. And he posted a different deck list, or a deck list with the non-standard version of the deck list that just happened to have the third land in it. He's like, see, this is what I had. And people are like, well, unless you posted the registration you filled out for the tournament, I don't care what picture that you posted now. You know? So, like, it's just one of those things. I just think he got caught. He didn't realize that, like, when you practice something so much, it becomes ingrained. And that was such a smooth cheat. There's a 0% chance in my mind that was the first time he did something like that.
Right.
So because of how smooth that was, like, there was completely possible. I think he's just trying really hard not to get taken out. But I kind of feel like there should be something. There should be a severe punishment. I almost think it should be a fine. If it was me,
the fine should just be whatever you won.
No, I think it should be like a $1,000 fine. Before you can get into another tournament, like something significant enough that it's like, wow, like that's crazy. But and then you forfeit any winnings in that tournament that you're caught in.
Okay, so like you forfeit all your winnings, and then in order to get into the next tournament, you have to pay an additional $1,000 just to enter.
Right. And that's just a fine, just for like, you know what? I admit that I screwed up. I'm sorry. Here's my fine. And that fine goes into whether it's a charity that Wizards sets up or the DCI sets up, whether it's augmenting, like helping. Actually, you know what? I think I prefer it just to be a charity that the DCI sets up to help give like disenfranchised kids or soldiers overseas access to Magic cards, like one of those two things, I think.
So there's when I went to GP Minneapolis, there was actually a booth. They weren't selling anything, and they were just, their thing was up there like, we are here to collect cards for children who may not be able to afford them.
Yeah, I know there's a couple of groups.
That's all they did.
Yeah, there's a couple of groups that are like that. Todd and the Arena has donated several times to local places for that. Like, we've given thousands of good singles, quality singles, and of course, like random bulk to places they go out and do that kind of stuff. We do it partially selfishly because it's a good way to get rid of some extra stuff that's laying around. And if you get a couple of more kids addicted to Magic and then coming in and grows the community, and that's always good. But at the same time, it's just something that you can do for people who don't have any money is play Magic. Once you have cards, you can play those cards forever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, I broke my fingernail, and now it's going to bother me until I get it fixed. I'm sorry.
Did you break it just now?
I broke it just now.
Wow, what an idiot.
Yeah, pretty.
You weren't even doing anything.
Well, off camera that people couldn't see, I actually scratched my ear because I had a nasty itch in there, and it just broke it right off.
It broke inside of your ear?
It did. I'm a vigorous scratcher.
In your ear?
Probably rocks and bugs, brain bugs. I'm pretty sure.
Explains why you're draining so fast.
That's right. Anyway, I'm not really sure how to transition to this now, but yeah, I watched that guy cheat, and if it was me, I'd definitely give him like 2 years ban. But I think that there's so much cheating, and like a lot of the cheaters don't even care. They're like, if you, again, I say it a lot as a joke. If you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough. And that it seems to be the case. It really does. It just seems to be what happens to so many of these pros. You know, there's a place where you struggle for so long and you want to turn the corner so badly and you can't. So where do you go? You to learn the Star City Shuffle. Which is hilarious because our friend Sean, he's been on the show. I think I told you guys at the pre-release, he had a double mulligan to 5 against me, essentially in the finals, and got a little butthurt. And he's like, I'm going to the camera to see what happened. And I'm like, go for it. I don't care. Like, I just shuffled like I always do. I'm not looking at your cards. I'm usually staring off in the distance over there. So I don't care. Go for it. And then we played again like the next week or something, and something very similar happened. Like he mulliganed to 5 and then he mulliganed to 6 or something in the 2 games. It was like, I see what's going on here. Whatever, man. You're welcome to think whatever you like, but I know I'm not cheating. But if I was cheating, would I have the same like feeling of like whatever? I'm not cheating. I'm just taking full advantage of the situation.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that was a long introduction to get to troll cards of the week. It feels like it's been a little while since we've done troll cards.
Didn't we have them last week?
I don't think so. If we did, just you did. Because I definitely didn't have a troll card. You wrote down Pat Rack. There goes my dyslexia again, kicking in high gear. Pat Rat. No, I'm getting closer. Pack Rat and Jaya Ballard. Go. I know what the words are, my friend. And Jaya Ballard. And then I wrote down Dawn of Hope. I just want to say all three of these cards are currently on my I really love list.
Yeah.
So I assume you're playing some sort of madnessy type thing in Modern. No, just shaking his head. All right, tell me what you're playing.
Nope.
Why are these cards on your list?
So, all right, so Jaya, I'll start with her because hers is pretty simple. I decided to build a Is It Counterburn deck just because I love those two things together. Don't really like them individually, but together they're great. And I got to Ultimate Jaya twice the night that I played her. And man, like having a graveyard full of spells is just like primo when you get her ult going. Because you're like, all right, I counter your 8 things and I burned your other things. Okay, Ultimate Jaya now. And now I still have 4 cards in my hand plus 10, 15 other spells in the graveyard that I can cast.
Yeah, she's really well positioned right now. I don't think people are giving her enough love because she's hard to compete with the Niv Mizzet, but I don't think they compete necessarily. I think they ally really nicely together.
Oh, they do. Because I have, in my deck, it's 2 Jayas, 2 Rals, and 2 Niv Mizzets. And Niv Mizzet and Ral are great for removing creatures. Like, you know, Ral's second ability. Yeah. And that works. That still works with Jaya. So
right,
it's like a win-win with him.
Yeah, so I'm also playing a counterburn deck on Magic Arena. I was gonna pull my list up, but it's not great because I don't really own all the cards I want to put in the deck on Arena. Mostly mana. Like I don't have all the lands that I want unlocked. But it's probably very similar to what you're talking about, although it sounds like some of our numbers are off. I don't think I think I'm running two Niv Mizzets, 2 Rao, and I think I have 1 Jaya. But again, it's just because I don't have another one right now.
Yeah.
But I really like her a lot. And it's one of the cards that I've been tinkering around with in this list that we're going to talk about in a little bit as that just one more thing. I feel like this deck needs just like one more thing, and it might be her. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the counterburn on Arena in particular. I don't know if I'd like it as much in paper. Like I feel like on the Arena or someplace where I can just like rack out a bunch of decks, feels like I either win easily or I'm just completely overrun. And that might just be the Arena meta.
Yeah.
Because there's not as much catch up in the deck as it could have been, as there probably should be. Like the best thing you can put in there as like a catch up card is the instant speed non-pirate Pyroclasm. And that's just not good enough. Unless you're playing Jeskai and then you can run the Deafening Carry-Ons. But it hurts your mana so bad. I know. I'll let you talk about pack rates in a second, but I'm gonna use my goodness on this Dawn of Hope. This guy has every time I've cast it, I feel like I've easily gonna win the game. Basically, I think I've lost 1 game after casting it, and it's just because I think my opponent ended up making like a Niv Mizzet that I couldn't deal with, which is kind of a pretty good counter to a 2-mana instant, or sorry, a 2-mana enchantment. Is a Niv Mizzet. So
you're like, I pay 4 mana to make 1 dude, and they're like, cool, I'll shock you and kill your dude.
Exactly.
Great.
Usually you get pretty far ahead in that situation, but sometimes not. But yeah, I really like this card. It does everything that I'm looking for, really. It makes the opponent want to leave in creature removal against my basically creatureless deck, which we'll look at in a second. But because they can't let the 1/1 sit on the field and gain you a life / draw you a card, they have to keep your creature removal in, which just means you get to fine tune your deck to beat them because they have to leave in the bad cards against you. Yeah, I don't know. This thing just does everything I want it to do. What do you think, Travis? Is this not the greatest card currently in Standard?
Greatest, no. Good, yeah.
I don't know. I was just trying to figure out some way to get you riled up a little bit, and instead you went completely the opposite way and was like, "Oh yeah, no, the card's fine. It's all good."
It's pretty decent. I still want to see someone play it with the Divine Visitation.
Oh, is that the one that turns them into 4/4s?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems way too Magical Christmas Atlantic to me unless you're playing mono white control, which I hear is a deck now. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it is doing some things.
No
So
clue.
I might have to check it out. Tell me why, like, the Pack Rat is once again on your radar, because it is one of the best cards, I think, in Modern.
So, the reason it's on here is for both Modern and Legacy.
Okay.
So in Legacy, I run a Dinosaur Reanimator deck.
Yes.
And 9 times out of 10, people side in Graveyard Hate. So I decided instead of combating the Graveyard Hate, I just take out, I take out 9 dinosaurs, and I bring in 4 pack rats and 5 lands. And then, so that way I still have 4 Carnage Tyrants and 4 pack rats that they have to deal with. And it's really difficult to deal with both of those things, especially when I'm just like, well, you go to kill my pack rat. Cool, here's another one. And you know how pack rat works.
Yeah. Pack Rat was like, I feel like I discovered it right before the pros did that year.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that I would have went some places right before the pros like really jumped on it hardcore, because it won me a lot of Magic that season. But yeah, it just was one of those weird cards that nobody played until after the first Pro Tour that season of the Ravnica block, or no, Theros block.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what? This card is amazing. Always just play it. Just the card's bad, you throw it away, make your dudes huge, and another one.
Yep.
The only time it's bad is against Wraths, and it's not even that bad against Wraths if you're playing the right kind of stuff. But whatever. Yeah. What do I know?
But yeah, so I ended up tilting one person. Like I went 2-2 with the deck. But the one person that I beat that made me play it in Modern again, he brought in 3 Leyline of the Voids and took out like 3 counter spells because he knew I had hand disruption. So, turn 1, I still did the hand disruption. Turn 2, I played my pack rat and a lotus petal, and he was just like, wait, what? I was like, oh yeah, by the way, here's this thing now. And he tried killing it, so I cracked a lotus petal for Dark Ritual, made another one, and I was down to 1 card in hand. And then next turn I top decked a land, and I'm like, so I played the land, still had that 1 card, and started swinging in. And he's just like, this is so stupid. I was expecting dinosaurs. I killed all your graveyard stuff, and now you just have rats. Like, Yep.
Well, that's definitely one of the things that I know as part of our strategy as trolls is to make sure that we have lots of alternate ways that come out of nowhere to get you, even if it's just one thing of this or one thing of that. We try to keep plenty of ways to just if you think you know what we're on, that's not our game plan.
Right.
We're on this instead. Speaking of game plans and knowing what's going on, did you look at that deck list I sent you a little bit ago, or did you not at all?
Yeah, I looked at it.
Okay, good.
But you want to hear why I played Pack Rat in Modern?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead, do it. Sounds great.
So I went back to Mono Black Devotion, and I had the Ravenous Rats, Burglar Rats, Pack Rats, Chittering Rats. So my 16 hand disruption cards, and then Bogus Marauders, Gary, that one for
oh no,
the Death Touch Lifelinker.
Okay, which Death Touch Lifelinker?
Gifted Aetherburn.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I just played that deck again.
Yeah, it seems fine. I mean,
yeah,
the biggest problem
good
is
fun.
that unfair decks probably can still beat you, right? Like, it can still combo off and do unfair things before you can get going.
Well, yeah, but like, I have my sideboard is just what was it? My sideboard was Plague Mare, Leyline of the Void, a couple spot of the Freaka's Cure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just that stuff again. And then I was just a mono black deck, just mono black control, and I had what's a Collector Brutality.
See, I was going to say, do you have a way to combat the hand? Because I feel like that needs to be in there.
Well, yeah, I have 12 creatures that discard.
That's true, but they're usually choice. Like, you need, I don't know, like some Thought Seasons or something.
Nah, just Collector Brutality.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
Vicious Rumors.
Is that the one that everyone discards, or they discard? You draw like or lose a life or gain a life or something stupid.
Yeah, it's the one from this Ravnica.
Yeah.
For 1 mana, each opponent takes a point, discards, mills, and then you gain 1.
Yeah, that card.
I love that card because my opponent, one of them, he brought in Leyline of Sanctity, not even realizing that Vicious Rumors, Burglar Rat, and Rotting Rats didn't target.
Oh yeah, just his opponents.
Yeah, except Rotting Rats is each player, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they get you. That is funny. Let's take a look at this thing, because I feel like I need some help with this, Travis.
I feel like you need help with a lot.
That's probably true. But in this case, what I need here is help with this list. So this is my 5-color, I don't even know what you want to call it, control. I mean, it's definitely a control list, but it's technically there are no green mana symbols except on the Chamber Sentry, but I am thinking about adding a forest. So let's just run down the list real fast. So 2 Chamber Sentries, which is basically the Sunburst Walking Ballista that regrows itself from the graveyard. It's weird. 1 Lyra, which may be wrong. 4 Karns, 1 Watley, 2 Raw, 1 Teferi, 2 Banefire, 4 Deafening Clarions, 2 Settles, 2 Cleansing Nova, 2 Star of Extinction, 2 Azor's Gateway, 4 Treasure Maps, 4 Chromatic Lantern, 2 Dawn of Hope, 2 Profane Procession, and then assorted lands to kind of fill the list out, right? So Evolving Wilds, a couple of basics, a couple of check lands, a couple of the shock lands, and then an arc, just to kind of help with some utility in case things go really bad. And of course, 2 Field of Ruins, because things like Search for Azcanta are still a cons, big ol' a cons. So the problem with this list has been so far, I either completely crush my opponent's spirits, or they overrun me with not planeswalkers, dinosaurs, like on turn 4.
Huh.
Everything else, if the game goes a little bit longer, it just doesn't seem to be a problem. If the opponent, if I have a 4-mana Wrath or a 3-mana Wrath against a deck, I seem to be fine. This thing seems to be great for me, except it needs one more thing. And I loaned it to Hunter on Friday, so yesterday, and he piloted it to a 2-2 victory and was trying to tell me the Stars of Extinctions were bad and the Dawn of Hopes were bad. And I'm like, if you think those 2 cards are bad, you do not understand how the deck works. He kept saying all he kept doing with them was hiding them under the Azor's Gateway, which I believe is a fine answer. Like, it's a 7-mana card. Sticking it under there is not a problem. Mm-hmm. But this just feels like it deals with just about everything. And it keeps they can have whatever they want for creature removal except for the Lyra. The Lyra seems wrong to me, and it feels like I put her in. I know why I put her in. I put her in because I was losing to other Lyras in playtesting online. But I don't think I need her. I think I need something else. And the first card that came to mind was a Jaya. Or Jaya, or however you say her name. And I even have one in the box. But right. I'm still not sure that's correct.
Yeah, because even if you die on turn 5, and they don't deal with her, turn 6 you can Starve Extinction.
Yeah.
And then still have mana.
Well, that's just it. One of the complaints was, oh man, I just had to Star Extinction my own Planeswalkers away. I'm like, yeah, sometimes you have to. But the point is, it still kills their 12/12s. It still kills their 10/10s. It still kills their Planeswalkers. And not very many Teferi decks can deal with the fact that you're going to slap down a Star of Extinction.
I don't think anyone can deal with someone.
Well, sometimes they keep
Extinction.
Sometimes they'll be the decks that do run counter spells. Most of the Teferi decks that have been being played around the arena are still kind of the old Fog style decks. So I don't know. I could go up another Teferi. I could go up another Watley. This card has not disappointed me. I could go up another Profane Procession. That card has not disappointed me. If anything, the card that's been kind of disappointing is the Clarion. Just because
that's the 3 damage to everything, right?
Yeah, 3 damage to creatures, and your guys can get lifelink, which is it does have good moments, because if I make a Chamber Sentry a 4/4 or drop down a couple of Karn dudes, then all of a sudden I can usually rack the board and attack back for 20 points of damage with lifelink or whatever, or 16 or whatever, But my concern is I can just get ran over by the mono red or the red blue aggro decks if I don't have something at 3. I don't know. And again, it feels like it's just missing something. If it's not, maybe it's just 2 more Banefires. Maybe I run the full play set of Banefires. Maybe I need more gateways. I'm not sure.
I don't think more gateways. Well, it could be you just need another gateway because card advantage. But I think if you put Jaya in there, that's also card advantage.
Yeah, my concern isn't as much card advantage. It's the flip it over and then Bane fire you to death. Like a lot of the control decks that are like counterspell based, that's your win. Your win for them is to just sit there in Azor's Gateway, flip that thing over, and then Bane fire for like 23. Because if they're trying to race your, if they're trying to get their Teferi to ult, it's usually pretty easy in this deck to keep Teferi from ulting. But it's not very easy to close out the game, where the Banefire you do the face for like 23 pretty much ends the game. So, I don't know. If you were going to shuffle this thing up, Travis, what do you think? I'll zoom in on it again. What do you think you would, how close is this list to what you would think you would shuffle up?
What's Watley even do again?
Her +2 gains you a life for the highest power amongst creatures you control. So usually not a lot. It gains you. Usually it sets off a ability to draw 2 with Dawn of Hope. Her 0 makes a 3/3 dinosaur, which is pretty good. And her minus is like a -X that deals X damage divided how you choose amongst however many creatures. And then those creatures can't block. So it's kind of got a little bit of that Chandra 6 playability. It's kind of got a little bit of the I want to say like make a big blocker, because a 3/3 in this format is pretty good. And of course, just the ability to occasionally draw an extra card. If you play her, you make a dinosaur. Next turn, you plus her Dawn of Hope, gain 3 life. Like that's often enough to get your ball rolling again. I honestly feel like she does a good job.
The Cleansing Nova is the destroy all creatures or all enchantments.
Yeah, like enchantments and artifacts, right?
Yeah. Okay. So honestly, what I would do is go down 1 star, go up another Cleansing, take out Huatley for another Teferi, and I think Deafening Clarion is more sideboard tech for the aggro decks.
See, this is the first thing that I think I agree with, is moving the Deafening Clarion to the boards. Because currently I don't have a board at all. And partly because I'm not really sure what the meta is going to be like in like this week or next week. But I feel like they could go there. And I feel like I like 2 stars. I like the 2 Cleansing Novas. Like I feel like the balance of Wraths are pretty good. But if I pull out 4 Deafening Carrions, I think I want to go up like 1 of each of the... Well, maybe not up another star. But like up 1 Settle, up 1 Cleansing Nova, but down 4 Clarions. But I'm afraid that I'm just going to get overrun and not be able to beat like the Boros decks.
Well, I was going to say, I think take out the Clarions for the history of Benalia.
Yeah. There's 2 problems with that. 1, I don't have any histories of Benalia. And 2, I don't want them to... I want them to want to leave their removal in for Dawn of Hope. But at the same time, like I don't want it to be good.
Okay.
If I spend 4 mana and make a 1/1 at the end of their turn and they have to spend 2 mana to kill it, then I'm in great shape.
Right.
You know? It's like, sure, I spent 4 mana, you spent 2 mana, but you didn't do anything. And instead, I made you discard a card and tap 2 mana on your turn.
Okay.
where putting in more creatures, even if it is in like your History of Bernalia field, seems bad. Now sideboard, I like the idea of bringing in histories, bringing in creatures. I've always been a big fan of bringing creatures out of the board, but even now I'm not sure what creatures would be great, unless I'm going to put in the what's the Boros red white 4/3? Do you remember something? True Fire Captain.
Sure. I don't pay attention to the Boros.
So it says whenever it takes damage, it does that much damage to opposing player.
Okay, so it's like the Reckoner.
Yeah. So there's a combo if I were to bring 4 of those in. And then I could Star of Extinction.
With the star.
Yeah.
I think maybe just focus on that entirely.
Entirely? That seems entirely. Terrible. That sounds terrible.
You get the 4 stars and the 4 True Fire, and you basically build a control deck based around those 2 things. And then once you get to 13 mana, you cast the 4-drop, and then you cast a 7-drop, and you just blow them up.
That seems real bad.
Seems really awesome is what it seems like.
If you could cheat that creature into play or cheat the spell into play, like that seems okay. Like if you were to use what's that really bad 4/3 blue creature? Like for 3 mana and tap it, you can play a sorcery out of your hand for free.
Oh yeah. You're just making this even better. All right, so here's what we do. We get rid of.
I made my deck bad, is what I did.
Yeah, you made it awesome though. So we get rid of Banefire and Huatley and Lyra, Chamber Sentry, Chromatic Lantern, Procession.
Okay, so the deck goes to Boros. I got it.
No. We're leaving Teferi there.
Okay.
He's card draw.
You're leaving Teferi, but you're removing the Chromatic Lanterns that let you cast Teferi.
Is there no blue on the sideboard?
What are you
talking about? You got an island.
There are 2 islands and 1 steam vent in the land pile over there.
You're wrong. There's 1 island and 1 steam vent.
Oh my god, it's even worse than I forgot. It's even worse than I thought.
But I also said leave in Ral.
Oh yeah. Well, we got to leave in whatever we can for whatever Chandra we can find, even if this is a poor Chandra.
Yeah, so no, just do the other thing. Go the Star of Extinction combo.
It seems terrible.
It seems perfect.
Speaking of
you
terrible,
don't even play standard. You like to play draft. So if you're
true.
forced to play standard, then you might as well force people to like get one-shotted.
Well, I like playing standard on Arena. So, and I'm like halfway to better than halfway to this list on Arena. I have a really bad version of it, and it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, like right now, my mental sideboard is Eldest Reborns, probably the bad Snapcaster Mages, the red ones, because I love them, and maybe move the Deafening Carry-Ons over. And that's all I currently have in my maybe sideboard. But the deck's 5 colors. It literally can play anything. So, like, what are the best cards in, like, the best sideboard cards in Standard? Nobody wants to blow up your Chromatic Lanterns. Nobody. And if somebody says that they do, they're full of shit.
Yeah, but Samus. One shot.
Fine, we'll put the combo in the sideboard.
Yes. 2 more stars, 4 dudes. Go.
Oh my god. Okay, so cards that are great. That new instant speed, make your creatures indestructible, take the next turn card. I've been drafting that really highly. And it's actually really fun. It's really good. You like just willy-nilly alpha people, and they're just like, "Ha! Kill all your guys," and you're like, "No, kill all your guys." and
No.
they're just like, "What?" And you're like, "And I go again, and boom, you're dead." It's a lot of fun, but apparently, it was pointed out to me last night that your creatures are indestructible is a period.
Yeah.
So it doesn't end ever.
Right.
They're indestructible forever.
Yeah.
So you just have to not die.
Right. That's what getting of the trials is for.
We're getting to the trials. Doesn't the black enchantment liches something?
Yes.
That Jackie pointed that out last night, and I was like, Jesus, this sounds terrible.
That's beautiful.
Sounds like the worst thing I ever heard in my life.
It sounds like perfection. I hope she's getting on that.
I have no idea what anybody's playing right now. Hoping to get into the playtesting tomorrow and see.
As soon as the show is over, I'm gonna send Jackie a text. Be like, "You need to build this deck, just because it'll irritate Samus."
It won't bother me. It's very hard to get into my
until
skin.
you play her.
Well, that's fine. I don't even care. Even if I lose somehow, it's fine. I'll be able to destroy all artifacts and enchantments. Or actually, I could just exile all the creatures that are indestructible, so it's fine.
There you go. But what if she doesn't attack?
Doesn't matter. Profane Procession doesn't say anything about attacking creatures.
Oh, right, that card.
Yeah,
no, we took that out, remember?
No, I'm leaving that card in. Are you kidding me? It's the whole reason I wanted to play this list. I wanted to play Karns, I wanted to play Profane Processions, and I wanted to play Banefires. That was the reason. That's
we're
how
taking it out for the star.
In the sideboard. Oh, man. I don't know. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about? I checked the email. There wasn't anything new in the email, which is kind of a bummer, but not unexpected, as it's like our second show back from a long hiatus. No. So, no, I hadn't either. SamusGrobo.com. You can find us on iTunes or pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. Send us an email, the number 2 trollsbrew@gmail.com. You can Twitch me at twitch.tv/SamusGrobo or youtube.com/SamusGrobo. And you can check out our various Twitters. I'm at SamusGrobo. Travis is at Podcast Trolls. He tried really hard to troll me out this week, but I was able to avoid it with a saving throw.
What are you talking about?
You and Joseph trying to... I don't even remember what it's about now. That's the thing.
Oh, that's right. Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, which I've always wanted to do. I've even talked to you about this several times on the show, like taking the top 8 and then us doing our own commentary over the top or something without watching it. I think it'd be great.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember that.
Yeah, you wouldn't, because it was a good idea that I had. If it was a good idea somebody else had, you'd remembered.
Probably.
Troll on, everybody.
Troll, everybody.